All right, welcome back to the OffBeat Sports podcast. Today we're joined by Brandon from Patriots with a 1 on Instagram. We're going to talk about the Patriots schedule this year and their odds in every game that they're going to be playing. So we can start off first game.
Miami, baby.
Yep. I think they're going to win that game. Like my full schedule prediction is 10-6.
Mine's 11-5.
So,
yeah, I got the Patriots winning that game. It's at home, and even though there's no fans, it's still different when you're playing in Miami versus here. But I have them winning it. They're definitely better than last year, but I don't think they're going to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a dub in my book. There's no reason they should lose that game.
I think we win that game too. Honestly, just I don't know, start of the year at home like that. I have a good feeling we'll win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not scared by anything the Dolphins have, really.
The only reason I would be scared is because of Tua, but I don't really even know if Tua's
He probably won't even be starting, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's most likely not going to be there that game 1, so it won't matter.
Yeah.
They picked up a few solid some of our players in free agency, but I still don't see them being any type of.
Yeah, and they did have a lot of first round picks, but first game, I don't see them beating them.
Yeah. I got my confidence in Stidham. Can't go back on it. Well,
Brandon, what do you think?
With the Miami game still, I mean, I know it's just I don't know. I just don't think we're better than them. I mean, I don't know, just starting the season at home, just one of those gut feelings, I just think we're gonna come through with it.
I feel like every time everyone's confident that we're going to beat Miami, we lose to Miami. We always lose, but it's fun.
I'm never confident when we head down there.
Yeah,
that's true. At home, we're a little bit different, but even so.
And I think the Patriots team right now wants to come out and make a statement because they're going to come out the season strong, or the first game strong because they get Seattle next game. But they're going to come out the first game strong, trying to prove a point that they don't need Brady. Brady's was obviously a huge piece, but they're going to be we need to prove ourselves so New England fans will still accept us as their team. And I think they'll come out strong and get a demanding win this game.
So second week they go to Seattle, and you can look at it from a regular normal point of view, and you'd say automatic loss. But when we were talking about it before, like Nick said, he judged it all based off of fans originally. But if you don't have the 12th man there, you don't have all that noise. I think that's a totally different game.
I don't.
I mean, I have it as a loss. I do, but I think there's a definite chance without fans that game could go the other way, given turn of events.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the Seahawks are going to have a good year. Their offense is full of talent, and especially in Seattle, I know there's no fans, but just being in your own stadium too gives them an advantage. But I do have the Patriots losing this game.
Yeah, I have that as a loss. I hate to say it, but I think they're just too strong with Russell Wilson coming off an MVP caliber season, and Chris Carson still performing.
And I mean, he's begging for Antonio Brown, so who knows? And then
they still have a nasty receiving.
Yeah, they still have Lockett and Metcalf, and then Disley will be back. So,
and don't they have what's his name?
Josh Gordon.
Yeah, and they got Dorsett.
But didn't he get exempt again?
Yeah, well, yeah, he'll probably end up coming back, but they got Dorsett in free agency, and I think their defense has always been strong. So,
I mean, their defense definitely fell off. They weren't the same, but
I'd probably pin that as a loss against us too, but I think it would be close. It probably won't be exactly like it, but it kind of would rub off like the Cardinals game in 2016. If we won that one, no one really expected us to win in the hostile environment.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that Catanzaro missed the kick.
That was a good moment for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd lean towards Seattle just because they're at home and we're traveling across the country for that one. So
yeah.
And then
I think
week 3 we have the Vegas Raiders. And Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota.
That's a dub.
Yeah, I have that as a win. But, I mean –
I'm not worried.
I don't know. You could see it as like, who knows what happens with that because Derek Carr is so inconsistent, like just like he's there. And then you have Josh Jacobs and their team is just like meh. So there's like a chance that they could do something, but I still think that the Patriots are going to win that game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they have from Ruggs. I'm pretty sure they drafted Ruggs, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they have. But, yeah, I still have the Patriots winning this game. It's at home. I don't think they'll lose that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid win for them too. And I think
Hopefully.
even though the Raiders obviously aren't what they were, but I think they will. It'll be a pretty competitive game because I think Ruggs really will help them. But I think that should be a win for them.
That would be – I'd probably list that as a win too, but I think it will be like a tough, close game.
Yeah.
Could go either way, one of those types of games.
Yeah, they had a weird offseason. Like, they brought in Ruggs, but I didn't really understand the Mariota signing, like when they made the signing.
Well, I mean, I guess if they want to make a quarterback battle, like
Well,
I mean,
Gruden talks highly of Derek Carr.
Yeah, but he also needs to light a fire under his ass because it's just like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I just don't really know what I mean, I guess Mariota's a good option, and I like Mariota, but I just didn't really see that coming because it's not like.
Should have got Cam.
I mean, yeah, they could have got Cam, but from Gruden, I'm not surprised at all that he went after another quarterback.
Yeah, Gruden's QB camp over in Vegas. So week 4 they have Kansas City at Kansas City, but still again, Arrowhead's going to be empty. So
I don't think there's no fans. Kansas City seems just so good, and I think they're coming off of really really strong season. It'll be week 4, so
it's difficult though because this season,
even if they come out having some like kinks they need to work out.
This past season, the Patriots. I know that's a totally different Patriots team. Like it's not because the roster's somewhat the same, but like this year, the Patriots are a totally different team than you would say they were last year. But last year, the game when they played Kansas City, they were a bad call away from winning that game.
Couple bad calls.
Well, yeah, but there was one major one.
Yeah.
Which also won me our fantasy league, but we're not going to talk about that.
Well, it actually made you come in second to last, but
to me it was a win. So,
but no, that team's just too good.
But I'm just saying.
I love my Patriots, but at some point you gotta be logical.
I just look at every game with the possibility that they win because they have Bill Belichick and they have Josh.
I think the only thing keeping them in this game is that there's no fans. Because if this was at Arrowhead with fans,
they'd be screwed.
They're done.
Especially with a young quarterback that doesn't have much experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would pin that as a loss against us as well. But I think the defense would fare well enough that we're sort of in the game still, I think. But ultimately, I just don't think.
Didn't Kansas City just re-sign what's the receiver there? Sammy Watkins? Didn't they just sign him to a kind of a big deal?
Well, a few years back, but they brought him back again this year, though, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've had him.
Yeah, I think that's just that team's just too solid all around.
And then week 5, they take on the Broncos at home, which I think they're going to win. Like, I have it as a win. I mean, I think the Broncos definitely have gotten better. Cross, I'm pretty sure you said one of the most underrated players in the league. What's the Broncos receiver's name? What's his name? I can't think of it.
Sutton, baby.
Yeah, like, he's good. They have some good talent on that team. They just brought in they had Philip Lindsay, and then they got Melvin Gordon, right? Pretty sure they signed Melvin Gordon. And then, Drew Lock is kind of an unknown.
They also added that receiver. What's his name? They drafted him.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah,
Judy.
Drew Lock's got weapons, and I think if he can even do anything with them, he'll be solid. But I'm still taking my Patriots.
He's an unknown, but I think it'll be interesting. Like, their team could be interesting. Like, their defense isn't the same, but the talent on the team is still
that's gonna be a good team. That's gonna be a good team, but I think I'm still taking my Patriots. It's gonna be a close game. They're gonna surprise everyone and take that game.
For me, that would be another close game, I think. I think I would list that as a win as well, but like the Raiders game for me, that's definitely one that could go either way.
So
Broncos right now?
What?
Are we talking about Broncos right now?
Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah, he was saying he has the Patriots winning against the Broncos.
Yeah, I think this will be a really good game. I think if it was at Mile High, I'd probably take the Broncos, but I'll probably take the Patriots at home. I think Drew Lock is underrated, but I don't think he'll win the game.
So next you got San Francisco at home, which I have as a loss, but again, I could see that game going either way. I know that they're a really stacked team, and I think they're favored to come out of the NFC as of right now. But I still think no matter what, if you have the coaching stuff that you do, and you have a team that understands Jimmy Garoppolo's like the way that he plays, especially because they coached him very like close to where he is and where he's gotten as far as his talent level. Like I think that that's something that they could take advantage of as of knowing his play style. But other than that, I don't really know what they could do.
I have that as a loss because
I have it as a loss. I just like there's like
that team is so good. Their defense so good. Their offense is actually I'm not as much worried about their offense as I am their defense, but their offense is serviceable. That like they'll do pretty good.
Yeah, I actually picked this as a win, just as sort of a hot take, because I think out of the 4 toughest games they play, this is the most likely to win out of like Ravens, Seahawks, Chiefs, and 49ers. I think that at home against the 49ers, they have a chance, but I don't know if they'll win, but it's just sort of a hot take.
Honestly, for me too, I could honestly see us winning that one too. Another thing I wanted to mention though is that I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but like I know that like in their history, the Patriots are really good coming off of a bye, and obviously coming off of a bye the week before. So I think that's something that could help them. And we're at home, they know Jimmy G, as you guys said, and I think it'll be close anyways for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a close game, but I don't know if Stidham unless he's gained his confidence and he's gotten going by that time. I don't know if he can.
They just have a couple like good breaks, like coming off of like a bye or like a Thursday night or a Sunday into a Thursday. Like a couple there's a couple different instances this season.
Yeah.
Were you still talking about the San Francisco game?
Yeah. But,
did you want to go to the next one?
Yeah. So Bills, I hate to say it, but at Buffalo, you gotta go with a loss because
I have them losing at Buffalo, and then I have them winning at home when they play them in the end of the season.
We'll get there, but I think at Buffalo, first time they see the new look Buffalo Bills, I think they're going to struggle. But I think that's going to be a huge test for Stidham in division game.
Yeah, the Bills are a good team. They added Diggs, and I think that they could be a real team to watch out for. And I have them losing this game. I have them splitting on the season, but the game in Buffalo, I have the Patriots losing.
I can say that it's going to be interesting with the Bills. I know it's not directly like what we're talking about. We're talking about the game. But I think the Bills could be such a hit-or-miss team because you see what the problems that Stephon Diggs had in Minnesota with the team. And he had Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is far and above Josh Allen as far as quarter.
I don't know about far and above, but I think he's.
I would say Josh Allen's pretty.
I would say last season he was far and above Josh Allen.
No, he wasn't. Josh Allen
especially after he got called out.
Josh Allen had a great season last year.
I think the Bills' defense carried him a little bit, but
I'm saying there's a lot of question marks.
For a young kid, that was a good season for him.
All I'm saying is that there's a lot of question marks, and if Josh Allen's not performing, Stephon Diggs is the last person that's not going to call him out and say that you're playing like trash, and that could cause.
I think Stephon Diggs will take a different approach to Josh Allen just because he's a younger, and I think.
I hope so. Like I'm not like saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's something to definitely keep watch of because of his attitude in the past.
Mm-hmm. But I think by that time, if they do have that problem, that's when they're going to figure it out.
And no, I'm not saying
especially against the Patriots, they want that game. So.
And I'm not saying Kirk's like that much better, but I'm just saying as of last year, when you look at like overall, like I would rather have Kirk Cousins last year than I would Josh Allen.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. But I don't think he was that far ahead of him.
Depends on how you look at it. Brandon, what were you thinking for this game?
What time is this game played at?
I can tell you in a second.
It's a 1:00 game.
Fuck, I think so, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think it's a 1:00.
I think regardless, I'd probably still take Buffalo. But I think like a lot of other games, I think it'll be pretty close again. I just don't think we'll be able to pull away. But
I think the only game they potentially would get blown out in this season is the Kansas City game, because that at Arrowhead and Kansas City is tough. But and I think most of my games are going to be close. I think they have a few blowouts wins, but I don't think they get blown out that much.
No.
So the next one is Jets in at the Jet Stadium.
Yeah, that's.
I have that as a win. I mean, the Jets are – I don't even know. Like, everyone keeps talking about how the Jets could sneak up. They could do something. I really don't see it.
No, they're bad.
Like, I mean, they're not the worst team ever. I think they improved on their secondary. They definitely improved in some places on their team. They lost Robbie Anderson, which is a huge hit for them.
Their offense is not good.
And I think – I mean, Le'Veon Bell – I don't really know. Like, that'll be interesting if he can actually perform. And Sam Darnold's not – you could argue that Sam Darnold could be the best quarterback in the division.
Dude, last year was terrible.
Yeah, but he had nothing on his team.
Yeah, I think
Sam
Darnold, given a good situation, could be all right. Like, he's never really had a good situation, but they still have Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell. Who knows? He could return, but I still have the Patriots winning this game.
I have the Patriots winning. I'm just looking at it from both sides. Like, I could definitely see that going the other way.
Yep.
But I think overall the Patriots have a better, more well-rounded team.
Yeah.
So
I think that's I think that's going to be a big win. I think I don't see the Jets coming close to them, especially Darnold throwing to
I
our.
just think, the only thing that I can definitely say is that Darnold's definitely still going to struggle with the Patriots secondary as long as
He'll be seeing ghosts still. He had 20 yards in that game last year.
I think that they own him to that point. Obviously, in the future it could change, but in that game,
they're gonna be in his head from the start. He's gonna be thinking
unless he's lighting it up until that point. I don't really see anything changing as far as the outcome of that game.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think it'll be closer than some of you guys gave it credit for. I definitely don't see it. What was it, 33-0 last year? I think it was.
Yeah.
I think
I could see a 23-13, something like that.
being a primetime game maybe helps the Jets somewhat, maybe too. I don't know, but I still think we win that one. I just think we're a better team overall.
Yeah, and I think Sam Darnold goes in that game just like shitting himself. Just
I don't know. I think I wouldn't say that. I'd say he'd want to prove himself and prove that.
Dude, he was so bad against him last year.
Exactly, but you would want to take that as these aren't the same Patriots.
Yeah, but last year he was getting destroyed from the beginning, and it didn't even act he got worse as the game went on. He didn't throw a pick and was like, all right, now I gotta use this as motivation to come out stronger. He got worse.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really. No matter what, I think we can all agree. I think it's gonna.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Next after that, they have Baltimore at home. I have that as a loss. I know you said, Cross, that the only game you see them getting blown out in is the Kansas City game, but I wouldn't pick them to get blown out in the San Francisco game just because I think that Bill Belichick understands Shanahan pretty well. But I think as far as the Ravens, I don't really know if Bill Belichick I don't know if they can handle that Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown, that whole team. They got destroyed by them last year.
Yeah, and that Patriots team that the Ravens beat last year looked unstoppable until that point. And then after that game, they sort of started to –
that showed all the weaknesses. They threw on them. They ran on them. They stopped them on offense.
But But this is going to be week 10 of the second season of a dominant Ravens team. I think by that time Belichick's going to figure something out.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think Lamar is going to slow down this year. I really don't think he will, just because you can't.
I think he has more. I think he has more under his belt now. I think he has more of a reason to improve.
I don't think he's going to be better. I think he's good, but I think Belichick's going to pull.
He got playoff experience. He had a.
Say what you want. He played well in that game, even though he lost. He personally played pretty well.
he had a good obviously had a great season. He was MVP and he had playoff experience. They had a good team around him, so he showed what he was capable of doing with a good team around him. And I honestly think if you like Nick just said, he had a good game that game. So that's not on him that loss. Like he had a good game. And they could have gone further in the playoffs given the situation and his teammates around him stepping up. So I definitely think in that game, Lamar Jackson's going to run all over New England, especially because they lost so much of their interior. Like, I don't know.
I think, and that's also week 10. So I think by that time, Belichick figures out his interior.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Figures out a strategy for Lamar after having like almost 2 years to figure it out. I think he comes out.
You might be right because, I mean, last year going into what – did we play them week 10 last year or week 9?
I think it was week 9 because we were 8-0, right?
Yeah. Were they our first loss?
Yep.
Okay, so week 9. Well, no, it would have been week 10 because of the bye. So it was week 10.
Yeah, you got the gist of it. It was game 9.
Yeah. Up until that point, we thought the Patriots were unstoppable, and then they got stopped dead in their tracks. So I guess even so, it could be
They got too confident last year. I think this year it's all like
I don't know if it was confidence or if it was just
it was definitely
the truth showed out when they played a really good team.
No, it was definitely it was too cocky because
I mean, doing what they did to even those bad teams is really hard to do.
And they started like the boogeyman, like they started getting way too cocky, and I think that screwed them.
Yeah. Brandon, what do you think?
This year's just full, like, needing to prove something.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a loss as well. I do think with just Baltimore getting more figure out league-wide by everyone, I do think it would be closer, but I just think they'll still be too talented for us, too explosive on offense.
Especially with Lamar is probably going to sit in the pocket a little more this year because he's been working with Hollywood Brown. So I think he's going to sit in the pocket a little more, which will that'll even help their offense.
I don't think he's going to change his play style. I think he
won't run as much.
I don't think this is the year for that. I think he wants to take advantage of his talent, but maybe you're right. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, I don't think he put so much effort into working this offseason with Hollywood Brown if he wasn't planning on using that.
Well, I mean, even if you're going to run like he does, you still got to throw to your receivers at times.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying I think he's going to utilize his and try and prove his arm more this year.
Maybe. He's got to do that at some point in his career because he can't keep taking these hits for a 20-year career.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you guys are right. At the same time, like, he definitely could end up becoming more of a pocket passer, but he's just so versatile that it's, like, stupid. So after that, they take on the Texans in Houston. I have that as a win, and I can say what's good about the Patriots' schedule in this area, they have Lamar, Deshaun, and then they have Kyler Murray 3 in a row. And I think that benefits the Patriots because they can prepare for that mobile type of quarterback before the Ravens game, and then they can use that same kind of strategy to, like, hold a mobile quarterback to, like, lower yards and try to contain him in all 3 of those games. So they can patent a strategy over 3 weeks and just improve on it as they go. So I think that benefits them, which is why I have them winning this game, because I think they can use the same type of strategy that they use for Lamar. Maybe not as much because Deshaun doesn't run as much, but that athletic type of mobile quarterback they can prepare really well for because they'll have 3 weeks of it in a row. So I have them winning.
Yeah, I have them losing this game. Last year they lost in Houston also, and even though that team had DeAndre Hopkins, he wasn't really the reason they won. It was kind of a low-scoring game, and I don't see especially with J.J. Watt back, I don't see the Patriots taking this game.
I have this as a win because hear me out. I think this is a win because I have them. They're going to be playing. I have them playing like 4 or 5 difficult teams, and I have the Texans in those 5 teams. And I think they're going to win one of them. They're going to surprise everyone with one of them, and I think that's definitely the one they're going to do it with. I think out of those 5 teams, that's the most likely, and I'm going to stick with that because I think their defense will be able to hold strong, and I think Stidham will come out firing in that game.
That's another we win as well. Honestly, I just don't think Houston is that good. I don't know. I don't see much in them that excites me this year, and I think, and generally we do very well against Houston. I think out of like they've only lost to them I think twice with Belichick, and they've won however many times. So
I think Houston didn't help themselves at all this offseason. Obviously, they brought in Cooks, which helps, but they also lost Hopkins.
And they got David Johnson too.
And I know they got David Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget David Johnson. Very, very important.
I understand that. I know you're being sarcastic, but obviously David Johnson's a great player, but I don't really that was like the biggest mess up trade, just absolutely horrible. I don't know why Bill O'Brien made that deal. I understand that there might have
Bill
been.
O'Brien's a moron.
I think there was part of it where DeAndre Hopkins wanted like some absurd extension and they didn't want to pay him. So
they're paying. They went and got Brandon Cooks, who they're paying the same amount of money that DeAndre Hopkins was going to be making.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest moron ever, like Bill O'Brien. So
can't smart people can't read idiots' minds.
So then the next week after that, they take on Arizona at home. And I think they're going to win that game. But I think at the same time, Arizona is a sneaky team because I know their offseason acquisitions weren't crazy besides Hopkins. Like, Hopkins is a really huge one. But other than that, you didn't, like, hear much about, like, things that they were doing. Obviously, they have Kyler Murray, who I think is going to have a breakout year. I think he's definitely going to be up there. Like, he could potentially have an MVP-type season because of his weapons, because of that team and the way that that team's built. But I still think that's a win for New England because I just think that the secondary can take advantage of the fact that that's going to be a throwing team because they have Hopkins and they have Fitzgerald. And I think obviously they have a above-average backfield with Drake, but I still think the Patriots win that game. I think they can take advantage of the young quarterback and the mobile quarterback, like I said before.
So I have that as a win. But if I were to change mine to 10-6, I think that would be my sixth loss, just because nobody really knows what the Cardinals are going to do this year, because they're kind of like there's kind of like a new look to them, and Hopkins is such a game changer. So I think if I were to have them lose 6 games, that would be my sixth loss.
Yeah, I have them winning this game, but I think this will be a really good game, especially because now the Cardinals have Hopkins, and I think that Kyler Murray will thrive with Hopkins, but I still think the Patriots are going to win this game at home, even though it doesn't really matter that much without fans, but I still do think they will win.
Yeah, I still have it as a win. But
I kind of think that's another really close game. I think us being at home helps, but I think I'd probably go with a loss on that one. It will be kind of interesting to see if Cliff Kingsbury can be like that next guy that has caused Belichick trouble, like, former players or assistants going against them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Yeah, I think just because also the Cardinals are in a tough division. They got the Seahawks and the 49ers, so the team might be kind of like falling apart in general. But I think they could, if they weren't in that division, I'd call them my sleeper team.
That's fair, yeah.
So following that, they take on the Chargers in LA. But I have this as a loss because I think the Chargers are sort of like a sleeper team. I know everyone doesn't really think of them like that. I know they went and they got Herbert, and they have Tyrod Taylor, which doesn't sound like the greatest quarterback room, and I know it's not. But I think their team is just so offensively stacked. And then you have Bosa, and they have a good defense too. Like, they don't have a great defense, but they have a good defense. And I think I just think their offensive weapons just make them such a difficult opponent to play. I don't think it'll be like a far-fetched game. Like, I think it'll be close, but I think that at the end of the day, they're gonna beat the Patriots in that game.
Yeah. I agree.
They just have
with you.
so much talent.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to win this one. I think it'll be a good game, but they added Kenneth Murray. They have Joey Bosa on the defense, and then they still got Austin Eckler.
I love Eckler.
Keenan Allen.
That's a big piece.
And I think it really depends on their quarterback room, because if they can figure that out, they could be a really good team. But I don't know if they will.
I mean,
If
I'm them. I'm going to play Herbert, but they'll probably start Tyrod week 1. But
I have that as a win, and honestly I think they'd be stupid to not start Herbert. but I think I have that as a win. I don't see the Patriots by that week not figuring out their own system and not being able to get a solid win against LA.
I don't know, because that team could easily go and get a guy like Cam Newton, and that changes the entire look of that team, and that could totally elevate them to be a team that I could see making.
But if they do, they're going to have to change a lot of their play style.
Not really. I mean, yeah, you adjust from Philip Rivers to him, but you don't think Cam Newton would thrive with that offense around him?
I don't know. I think that'd be different.
Dump off to Austin Eckler, and then you just throw it downfield to Keenan Allen or hit Hunter
That's
Henry.
a very different system from Carolina for Cam.
Every team has a sort of different system.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. That'd have to be an adjustment.
Oh yeah, but I still think he would be.
And I think if they were to get him, it would be mid-season, so they'd still be figuring it out by the time they play the Patriots. They wouldn't get him by the beginning of the season. I don't think. But
Brandon, what do you think?
That's a pretty close game toss up for me. I do think we win that one though. Personally, I'm not overly high on the Chargers myself. I would say. I don't know. I'm not too big on Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, I wasn't too big on the landing spot for Herbert, and I don't know. I think that's a game we can win anyways. I think it's pretty even talent wise.
See, the Patriots guy know what he's talking about.
Average Joe, like all of you.
So then they head to the Rams, which this is an interesting situation because I think I'm pretty sure it's a Thursday night game. But what works out for them is that typically a team that has a Thursday night game after a Sunday night game, they have to travel and they lose a day of practice.
Both games are in LA. Yeah.
They're already in LA, so they're gonna beat the Rams back because the Rams are actually away the week before. So the Patriots have a day of practice on them, and they'll be in the stadium, so they'll have an advantage in that aspect. So I have that as a win. Plus, I think the Rams
I don't think – yeah, I have that as a win too, but I don't think that's why they win. I just think that they're a much better –
No, I just think that gives them an advantage because they have an extra day of prep in the same stadium, and they'll play 2 weeks in a row there. So
yeah, it gives them an advantage, but
I think
I don't think it matters. I think that they win either way. I think I don't think the Rams are very good, especially because they lost Cooks. Like, they still have Kupp and Woods, but that's about it. And Goff's like, eh.
Yeah, and they lost Gurley, and I think Aaron Donald kind of slowed last year just because of teams were like putting two guys blocking him. So, I think they'll still be. I think they'll be okay.
I think, like, Aaron Donald's still like I'd call him
he's still a phenomenal player.
Defenders in the
He's
league,
still a phenomenal player, but
he really just carries that defense, like
yeah,
in that line especially.
And I don't think they have that good of a defense. So I think they can. I think the Stidham won't be too uncomfortable there, and I think he'll be fine. I think they win that game.
Yep.
That's a game I don't feel totally comfortable saying we'll win. Personally, I feel like a lot of people are kind of sleeping on the Rams after one bad year. I'm interested to see how they bounce back after. I guess the offensive line should be better for them, but
I think if they brought back if they brought back like Cooks and Gurley, I'd be more worried. But I think losing them after like a year, I think that they're gonna struggle.
I think it'll be interesting because that defense, as much as you can say, Aaron Donald, they also have Jalen Ramsey.
Well, I'm not saying Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's a phenomenal player. I'm just saying teams kind of like were throwing two guys on him like every play, so he couldn't he not struggled, but like he didn't have like his phenomenal like season that he could have if like teams weren't trying to just really focus on him.
Sure. And then the Patriots end off the last 3 weeks with the division, and they have Miami at home.
No, it's Miami away.
Or is it Miami away? Sorry.
Yeah.
Miami away. I have that as a win.
I'm going last 3 games, dub.
Yeah, I have them winning the last 4. I have a 4-game win streak for them coming off that Chargers loss.
I have them winning the last 7, but
yeah, I have them losing in Miami that week, and then I have them finishing off with a win against Buffalo and a win against the Jets. And overall 9-7. I think that they might grab a 7 seed, and that's if they go 9-7. But that's my prediction.
Yeah, the only team I see them going 1-1 on in the division is the Bills. I think that's the only team.
I think in Miami, we always seem to lose in Miami, but this year
But it's
like more even talent wise than any other year. And
But there's no fans. I think those games are going to be very important to their playoff hopes. I think Stidham's going to want to
Well, I mean, last year we lost in Miami, and that was really important to our playoff hopes.
Well, no, they knew they were going to be in the playoffs. That was for seeding. I think,
but then they didn't get their bye.
Well, yeah, yes, but this is gonna make or break whether they're gonna make the playoffs or not. Those last 3 games, and I think Stidham's gonna, as I keep saying, he's gonna want to prove something, and those games are so vital to the season. I think I take all 3 as a win.
I can see where Nick's coming from, where they could definitely lose those.
Oh yeah, I could see it.
But I do think they're gonna win those last 3, because I think that at the end of the day, I still think that overall team, you could put Buffalo and New England up against each other, but I think if you're factoring in coaching, New England's still the best team in the division. I know the quarterback's not the best in the division. Obviously, the QB room's not the same. But I think overall, I know you had some significant losses, but I still think that they're overall talent-wise better than those other 3 teams. So,
well, I don't know the Bills, but I think they win that game just because they lost the first one.
Bills is a toss-up, but still.
For I guess week 15 we're at. I guess I would take Miami for sure. Honestly, I'm one of those guys that just don't have much confidence heading into the Miami game. Just one of those things. Even though we're better than them on paper.
You're like a Bruins fan that doesn't want them to play the Canadians.
but yeah, I would take Miami for that. And then are we just naming off the rest, or are we still going to go one by one here?
I think we're
just name off the last 2.
Yeah. Man, that Buffalo game's hard to say because I don't know what to expect out of Buffalo this year since they're playing a tougher schedule and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I feel confident about the Jets game week 17. If we're in the playoff hunt in that, if we're not in the playoff hunt, you never know if we just slack off for a week. Nothing to play for in that, but
yeah. I think it'll be interesting. Those last couple games will be interesting. It'll definitely have an impact on the season, depending. If we're all assuming that they have a chance to make the playoffs, it'll definitely have an impact on their season. So I think for that reason, we can say they're most likely going to stack up as wins and maybe a loss thrown in. But obviously, it depends. It definitely depends on the way that the season goes leading up to that point. Because if you're going into those weeks and you only have 6 wins, and you're looking at and you think you're going to lose in Buffalo, then I think it's definitely different if you have 9 wins or 8. So it'll be different depending on how the season shakes down, but we'll see.
All right. Final record predictions. I'll go first. 11-5.
Nick.
So, like I said before, I have them going 9-7. I think with the extra playoff team, they'll probably grab that last spot.
Brandon, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with around 9-7, 8-8 as well. I think, with like Nick said, there's an extra playoff spot. I think we definitely have a shot at grabbing that. Or if even Buffalo stumbles, we could even get the 4 seed as like a 9-7, 10-16 potentially.
Yeah. So I have 10-6. I mean, I agree with Cross. Like mine could sway either way, but I think there's definitely I'd definitely sway down if I was going to. But I think they're like a solid 10-6 team. Obviously, like I said, it depends on how they play. We're just going based off talent and how we assume that they're going to play. They could definitely come out and be totally different than we think. But at the end of the day, I see them as a 10-6 team. We'll see what happens with Stidham and Hoyer, but
I'm going 11-5 just because, or especially with recent news. Like Stidham's been such a good leader lately. Apparently,
I wouldn't take that hardly. I really wouldn't.
Leadership's a huge.
Hoyer has come in every year, and when Brady's not here, Hoyer leads all the OTAs and runs all of the camps as the main quarterback. So for them I know the report that was out today by Florio about the Stidham running training camps or Stidham running like a workout with the teammates, but Hoyer was there, so I doubt Hoyer didn't have something to do with it. It's more of the quarterbacks.
They said Jared Stidham set it up. They didn't say Hoyer set it up. They said Jared.
You don't think that Hoyer had something to do with it because he's been setting those up for years.
He might, but they said.
I think it's just a good I just think it was a good PR.
Said, Stidham connected with his receivers.
I'm not disagreeing with you that it's a good thing. I'm just saying I definitely think Hoyer had something to do with it, and it's just a PR play by the Patriots.
Hoyer wasn't at all of them.
What?
And Hoyer wasn't at like all these meetings, like all these training thing or meetings.
He's
like
here.
What?
In the article, it says Hoyer's here. It says Hoyer's there.
But Stidham set them up. Stidham set them up for the team, and like Hoyer showed up. They said
I really don't believe that. I know what you read.
They would have said Hoyer and Stidham set it up. They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have said.
Are you sure that they're not just trying to make the young gun look good because they wanted to have a good rep?
It'd probably be better for them if he wasn't having good rep, because then it would be easier, or it'd be easier for them to.
No, they want to hype him up. They want to make him look good. They want to make him have a high PR, so then he looks like a good guy and he looks like a leader.
Oh,
I mean, we'll see. I could see him completely flopping, but I could also see him being above average. I don't really know what to expect from him.
All right. Well, anyway, I guess that wraps up this edition of the OffBeat Sports podcast. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch our other videos.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at offbeat_sports.